stand her on the thumb. And with you, a Johnny Dye. I'll dance the buckles and the shimmy. Come on, go! And with you, a Johnny Dye. I'll dance the buckles and the shimmy. The middle one's on there. There's no phone to switch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a nice welcome to our show, Breath of Scotland. Céimeanna Fáilte, and I'm your host for this evening. Once again, my name's Ronnie Coburn, and it's so nice to see all the ladies looking so nice, with the hairstyles looking nice. All the ladies are looking lovely. The men, yuck. But anyway, it's nice to be here, nice to be back in Canada after 2 weeks in Quebec. It's nice to be back in Canada. Actually, they won't let us put our posters up in Montreal. You know that? You're not allowed to put them up because they're in English. You're not allowed to put up the poster, A Breath of Scotland. What you've got to put up is Le Pouf. Le Pouf d'Écosse. So now Bill is an Écosse Pouf. We've been away for a year. It's no year since we've been here, but my goodness, all the things that's happened in the world, and Maggie Scratcher, she's away, and poor old Maggie, she's away, and the Premier of Ontario, Bob Rae, he's joined the Moonies. And the Gulf War, when Saddam, you know Saddam Hussein, when he lost the Gulf War, he was so broken-hearted. He went down underneath the big palace in Baghdad, and he went down to his magic place under the palace, and he came across his magic mirror. And he said, I must seek solace, he said. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most ineffective world leader of them all? And he was told. He was walking up the stairs, and he was shaking his head, and he said to his Prime Minister, who's this Brian Mulrooney? I'm only kidding. We've even punched our VAT, GST, is it GST, right? All the hotel bills, hundreds extras on the end. But anyway, it's so nice to be back again here, and it's so nice in the theatre here. Actually, a wee story to tell you, because we have this gentleman sitting at the piano, and his name is Alec Cairns, and actually on Friday I phoned him and said our regular accompanist who's been with us all the time, Jimmy Kosker, has a wee bit unwell and can't come. So on Friday I said to Alec, you're on the bus. So he's arrived in Canada. He doesn't know whether he's in Canada, Hong Kong, China, or where he is. He can't get used to the time, and he can't get used to the roads. We keep on pulling him back off the pavement, off the sidewalk. He keeps on crossing the roads. I remember when I first came to Canada, I was in Newfoundland, and somebody said, they're all driving on the wrong side of the road here. The right-hand side. But don't worry, they're going to drive on the right side and the road in Britain shortly, and they're going to experiment with trucks only for the first 3 months. But anyway, stepping in at the very last minute when he should be playing with his orchestra in the big hotel in Ayr, but here he is in St. Catharines here in Ontario, Canada. You give a nice big welcome for stepping at the last minute, Alec Cairns. He's a nice wee laddie. Wee Willie wasn't very well. He had a sore tummy, and his daddy wrote to the teacher and said, please excuse our Willie for not coming, but he hasn't gone. We've given him something to make him go, and when he's been, we'll let him come. Wee Willie says, Daddy, if you give me £5, I'll tell you who sleeps with Mummy when you go to Canada. So So his daddy says, hey, yes, there's the £5. Now, who sleeps with mummy when I go to Canada? He says, me, daddy. This is lovely to see, because we're a nice clean family show for tonight. So I've bought some sweeties here. They call them candies. You've been over the border today for your cheap petrol yet? So I've got some sweeties. So there's two young lads and two young, oh, the wee lassie, the wee laddie in the front row. So there's a couple of sweeties for you. Now, now I'm going to go some more, so I'm going to shout yoo-hoo. And if there's any boys and girls, you shout yoo-hoo, and I'll give you a sweetie or a candy. Right, I'll tell the wee boys and girls, right, yoo-hoo! There's a hell of a lot of old yoo-hoos in the night, isn't there? A lot of blooming cheeks. Where's the wee boys and girls? I can't see for the moon. There you are, there you are. Back to hell, there's the bar, there's the... If there's any boys and girls, pass the sweets along, because last week we're up in Inverness and I was throwing out some candies and the end of the show was an old lady, 89 and 92, going up and down all the roads. She says, what are you looking for, Granny? The show's finished. She says, I've got to get one of these toffees you threw out. I says, why? She says, my false teeth are stuck in it. I'd like to welcome the party, our great friends from Niagara on the Lake. Where's the Niagara folk? Where are you? There you are. Give them a nice welcome. That's nice of them. Lovely. I didn't recognise you without your barrels, but anyway, it's nice. There's a lady I met down there that used to work with Will Starr, so that was nice meeting somebody there. Anybody in from Edinburgh tonight? No royalty in tonight. Anybody in from Glasgow? The holy city. Well, that's wonderful, because we've got a gentleman coming on now. He's an awful nice man. He's very good to his wife. He never goes home. He's coming on tonight, and this is we've got three people in the show you know, and we've got four new people who are making their very first visit to Canada, their very first visit to Ontario. So they're all about, they're dead strange, you know. The hamburgers are cheaper here, they found that out. But apart from that, they're everything's so new to them, you know. So this gentleman is actually one of their top television artists on our most popular soap in Scotland is called Take the High Road, which is shot down in Glendarroch or around about Loch Lomond, and I believe that it's now been taken into Canada with CBS, and the only station that's got it up to now is Windsor, but I'm told it's going to be very popular right throughout Canada as it's #1 in Britain. But he's with us, he plays the village policeman, and he was actually one of the famous Gabber Lindsay, our top folk show group in Scotland, and then he's been working on his own. But he's with us tonight. He comes from Partick in Glasgow. He's a Partick Thistle sympathiser. So ladies and gentlemen, you give a nice big welcome on his very first visit to Canada. Here he is, James McDonald. Come on, James.
I'll take my lady contented to be a wee bit out of the money. Give my pints another blood, I'll gang out of the hills to Gallowong. For the Gallowong hills are covered with broom, nice to get a nice welcome to a place like this, first time in a strange country. Not strange to you, but very, very strange to me. This song is one that applies to people who have left Scotland to go elsewhere, the likes of Canada and America. They sometimes come home, some stay, some never go back. They decide that they have lost too much back home. So this is a song especially for people who have maybe decided to go back or thinking about going back. It's called These Are My Mountains. For fame and for fortune, I wandered the earth. Now I have come back to this land of my birth. I brought back my treasures, but only to find then the sand of pleasures I first left behind. For these are my mountains, and this is my glen. The breeze of my childhood will know me again. No land ever claimed me, though far I did roam. For these are my mountains, and I'm coming home. The burn by the road sings as I pass it by. The walk overhead wings wail welcoming cry. The loch where the scarf flies, at last I can see. It's here I'll be happy, it's here I'll be free. For these are my mountains, and this is my glen. The rays of my childhood will know me again. No land ever claimed me, though far I did roam. For these are my mountains, and I'm coming home. Kind faces will meet me, they'll welcome me in, and oh how they'll greet me, my Yankee thanking. That night round the angle, all sang will be sung. At last I'll be hearing my ain mother tongue. For these are my mountains, and this is my glen. The breeze of my childhood will know me again. No land ever claimed me, though far I did roam. For these are my mountains, and I have come home. Thank you very much. That's real nostalgia. For any Glaswegians know there's no many mountains in Partick. This next song is one that relates to a nice part of our Scottish history, and it occurred the famous battle way up in the middle of Perthshire there. A Covenanters battle. It's called Killiecrankie. War haven, say brolad, war haven, say brankie, oh, war haven, say brolad, come ye by Killiecrankie, oh. And he had been what I had been. You ought to be seen on the breeze o' Killiecrankie-O. I fought in land and I fought in sea, and hame I fought where Randy-O. I met the devil and Dundee on the breeze o' Killiecrankie-O. And ye had been for I had been, ye wadna been sae canty-O. And ye had seen what I hae seen on the breeze o' Killiecrankie-O. Oh, my Mackay, were Gartirai in the bush ayond the banky-O. The sewer slaves and Nato braids and deals by Killiecrankie-O. And ye had been for I had been, ye wadna been sae canty-O. And ye had seen what I had seen on the breeze o' Killiecrankie-O. It's nae shame, it's nae shame, it's nae shame, he shanky-O. The sewer slaves by Athol braids and deals by Killiecrankie-O.
You know, I come from way up north of Aberdeen. Actually, I come from a wee place called Peterhead. You've heard of it, haven't you? They're a great crowd up in Peterhead, the fisher folk, and they play bingo morning, noon and night. Bingo morning, noon and night, and they shout all the numbers out in Gaelic. So as the English can't win. There's nobody in from Englandshire tonight, is there? Is anybody from Englandshire? Welcome to civilization. It's nice to There's nothing I wouldn't do for the English, there's nothing they wouldn't do for me, and that's how we get on. Doing nothing for each other. They're a nice crowd, if you take them the right way. But anyway, I went for a job with my pal. He's got a wee farm up there north of Fraserburgh. I said to him, can you use me in the land? He says, no, we've got stuff for that. Willie and Maggie walked down the country lane, and Willie's feeling a wee bit amorous, and he's holding Maggie's hand. And he looked over the dike into the field. The English people, he looked over the wall into the field. He looked over the dike into the field, and there was a big coo and a bull. There was a large cow and a bull. He looked over the dike into the field, there was a big coo and a bull, and they were rubbing noses. Willie says to Maggie, I'd love to do that. She says, well, carry on, I'll hold the coo. And the old father came home drunk as a lord. He's a farmer. It's very unusual to find a Scotsman and a farmer drinking. But anyway, he came staggering down the road, and he was that drunk, instead of turning right and going into the farmhouse, he turned left and went into the pigsty. There wasn't much difference. And he was that drunk, and he was inebriated as well. And he sort of went to the pigsty, and he lay down beside the big fat sow, and he cuddled into the big fat sow, and he said, you know, Jeannie, you and I have been married for 40 years. I never knew you had buttons on your nightie. He hasn't moved with the times at all. He's got 40 coos. 40 cows. He's got 40 coos in the milk's ball behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see? And he's getting a wee bit old, and he's getting a wee bit arthritic, and his fingers are getting stiff, and when he can't milk the cows, he gets angry. When he gets angry, he gets frustrated. When he gets frustrated, he develops a terrible terrible stutter, you see. So he put an advert in the paper for somebody helping to milk his coos. So a lovely wee lassie from Aberdeen came up, wee Mary the milkmaid, and she had big thick pebble glasses. She couldn't see very well, you see. So there was Mary, she couldn't couldn't see her. There was Willie was da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So he says, my Mary, what are you to all these, what are all these coos? So Mary said, certainly. So she got her wee stool, she sat underneath the first cow, and she walked right down to the bottom of the byre, milked the whole 40 coos. Then she was that short-sighted, missus, she crossed over the byre and sat underneath the big bull. Willie was an off his stage, she said, you can't have that coo. And Mary said, well, why not? He says, because that coo's different. Mary said, well, what do you mean different? He says, it's the same difference between you and me. Oh, she says, you mean it stutters? Another new face for you, ladies and gentlemen, another new face, somebody else that's making their debut for the very first time into Canada. She's a wee lassie with a difference because she comes from far away. She comes from a wee town in the North Island of New Zealand called Tuakawa. And she's been living in Scotland with us for the last few years in a lovely wee village called Glamis up there in Angus. And she's been winning all the championships all over Scotland. So we're delighted to have her with us a long way from Tuakawa in New Zealand through Glamis to St Catharines. So had an awful time with immigration where a New Zealand lassie with a Scottish passport and a Scottish show coming to Canada, they didn't know what to do. But anyway, we've got her through here at last. So we give a nice big welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for Adele Scott with a Burns medley. For the village idiot. We all take turns. I get more turns than the rest. And a big American tourist, he just come up and said, gee, Bud, call me Bud. He said, I'm lost. I said, he says, yes. Could you show me the way to the police station? I said, no. He says, could you show me the way to the main road? I said, no. He said, could you show me the way to the information centre? I said, no. He says, you're not very clever. I says, aye, and I'm not lost. Anyway, I'm going to a big Highland ball tonight. Heather Capple's taking me. She's taking a big Highland ball going down to Welland for a big ball down there. There's a Mr. and Mrs. Agnew in tonight from Welland. They've been asked to announce they're in celebrating the 70th anniversary of the final payment on their washing machines. Nice. So, do you like my new kilt, Mrs.? Do you like my kilt? It's the Guy Gordon, if you'll pardon the expression. Do you think it fits all right? You're dafter than me. Do you think it fits all right? Is it all right for length? No. We belong, is it? Yeah. We belong in the one end. We be short, do you think? A wee bit short. I'll ask my pal Alex hide behind this box. You know, we've got a lovely big grand piano backstage, and we can't use it because nobody can find the key. You're like Winifred Atwell sitting there, listen. I'm going to Highland Ball tonight in Welland. Do you think you could shorten my kilt because it's a wee bit long? You see that woman you did?
No, I haven't time for that.
Well, I'll ask somebody else. Here's the lassie's coming. Lassie, the one that went Highland Ball tonight with Heather, and my kilt's a wee bit too long. Do you think you could do something about it?
I think you need 6 inches off the bottom.
Yes, but what about my kilt? salvage edge, you know. Because I know you were in the Girls' Guild in New Zealand, looking after all the sheep. Can you help me?
No, we're away to see the coloured lights on Niagara Falls. We're here, they're really beautiful.
Well,
So,
you went
see ya.
down last year and they were out. We never tried the best of luck. Here, Jimmy, you like the red shadow coming on there. Listen, do you think you could shorten my kilt? What a big hammer ball, it's a wee bit too long.
It's too long, Ronnie. You're eating 6 inches off it, but I don't have my glasses with me. I'd love to have done it for you. Sorry, you know, 6 inches there.
Here's the farmer. Here's Ronnie Listen, what a big handball of mine, well, if my kilt's a little bit too long, could you shorten it for me?
Well, it doesn't whisker too long.
So
Right
you
enough.
whisker.
Yeah, that's whisker too long. Actually, I can't run. I promised to go back to Brampton and help Bobby Brown to cut his grass.
Bobby Brown to cut his grass. I tell you what, you tell Bobby Brown when he wants to cut his grass. Sprinkle it with whiskey.
Does that stop it from growing?
No, but it'll come up half cut. It's a lot of nonsense. Yeah, nobody's going to help me to sharpen the kilt. I know who. Mulrooney, he'll do it. He's cutting everything. He'll do it.
I think we should go and cut 6 inches off the his coat. Come on.
That was smashing. I borrowed your spare glasses and took 6 inches off of it.
It's actually disgraceful. I got my wife, she's going to take 6 inches off his kilt.
Well, that's it. We've taken 6 inches off Ronnie's coat.
Oh, I just want to find me and take 6 inches off of Ronnie's kilt.
That's right, well that's it. I took 6 inches off his kilt then. And
You take 6 inches. Well, if I'll take 6 inches off of Ronnie's kilt.
Hey, what the hell? Coming on now from the ridiculous and sublime. She was with us last year. She's one of our originals in the show, and she's got a nice big family. She's the wee mum of the show. She's got a son. He's just back from the Gulf, and she's got another wee laddie, James. He's only 5. I think he was an afterthought, but anyway. And she's got a wee bit of a sore hip, you know, and we're travelling in the minibus, and she's been rubbing it. Well, what's that stuff? 35 and 45. What's he called? Eh? A535. That's what we use Altipan at home, but A535. So she comes hobbling on. Just ignore her, you know. And the woman in the front row, Mrs. Woman, if she's smelling, you know, just don't sit in the front row. You'll upset her, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a lot of nonsense, but laugh if you like, please. Anyway, here says from our oldest youth down in Scotland, from East Kilbride, a nice big welcome for Isabel Stewart.
Come with me across the sea, where my heart just longs to be, to a place that's calling me back to bonny Scotland, where the Highland air is keen, where the islands gentlemen. It's really nice to be back with you. It's lovely to be with you this evening. My paternal grandmother comes from Stranraer, the border country, and to get to Stranraer from Glasgow, you have to go through the beautiful countryside of Bonnie Galawa. I do like to travel. It's lovely. I do enjoy it. But I must admit, I love going home to Scotland. So this is a tribute to my country, Scotland forever. I dreamt that I wandered a deep, lonely glen. The flowers of my homeland had flourished again. The bluebell, the primrose, the wild daffodil, the white rose of Scotland, the purple-clad hill. Home, Scotland, my home, land of the mountain, land of my home.
49th tour of Canada. And they got started in It's marvellous to come back. It's a lovely audience. But we go home to Scotland, we go back right into the Gaiety Theatre here, then we start our tourist season with Rossies and Dunoons every Mondays and Sundays, and at Loughrea and Perth and St Andrews and Dundee, all over the place, you know. And we're working all the time to different tourists from all over. They come from Englandshire and everywhere. They come up to Scotland. And the Scottish Tourist Board are working very hard to do well, and they've started this new theme in Scotland. It's called Highland Hospitality. And every little cottage in the glens are all doing B&B, bed and breakfast. And they've got one little room, and once we notice on the hedge, B&B, and once the room's let, that's it. So they must try this Highland Hospitality. So I was going up to a wee place called Kindercleven, and I went up to the glen. I came to this lovely wee white house, and I knocked on the door, and a wee Highland lady came out and said, "Can you put me up for the night, bed and breakfast?" Oh, she says, "Highland Hospitality. Come away in," she says, "you're very welcome." She says, "But there's only one thing wrong. I've got 16 bairns." You see, they do not have the television in the glen yet. She said, "So you'll have to share with my youngest, my wee boy, my youngest wee lad, he's only 5. I said, "Well, I've got a wee boy, he's only 4, that's all right, it's no problem." So, that was a Canadian thing, no problem. So, you're welcome, have a nice day. You want a 6-pack, eh? Now, this is the only country in the world when you're going out the door to say you're welcome. There you go. Anyway, I said, "Share with Wee Willie's." Jess, I said, "That's all right." So I went upstairs to Wee Willie's bedroom. Nothing nice, wee laddie. He's getting ready for his bed. He's getting into his wee nightgown, you see. So I'm getting into my pyjamas, and I noticed he was over at this side of the bed, and he was kneeling down. I thought, what a nice wee boy. I'll better do the same. So I got to this side of the bed, and I knelt down. And he said, "And what are you doing, mister?" I said, "The same as you, son." "Oh," he says, "my mother will kill you. It's on this side." It was only a pose. Chamber music by Handel. Anyway, I came down in the morning, nice, lovely morning, loving to sleep, lovely breakfast in the morning. There's Mum and the Dad and the 16 bairns all sitting round the table. Lovely breakfast, bacon and eggs and black pudding and a cup of tea and fried bread. It was lovely, a lovely breakfast. That was a lovely night sleep, a lovely breakfast. I said, "How much am I owe you?" "Oh," she says, "Highland Hospitality. I'll not be taking a penny. Just give the bairns £5 each." So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I do a wee bit stage management here. You know, I'll get this wee stool. There's a wee lassie coming on now, and again, it's her very, very first time here in Canada. And she comes from a place, we haven't had anybody from this place in Canada before in Scotland to come to Canada. She comes from a wee place away up in the north of Scotland, the Northern Highlands, a wee place called in Ross-shire called Tame. Has anybody heard of it? You've heard it. It's a one-horse town. The horses died. She's an awful nice wee lassie, and she's only 17. A toast. You killed my mother, you killed my father. Revenge. I'll kill that cat. Somebody out there left, one of Matrix left a lovely pair of glasses in a blue suede case up there. So if anybody's lost their specs, I have them. I'll put them on the piano, you see. You keep your eye on these specs, you just know you're funny with specs. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the young chorus!
The wee flea has no wings at all, but it gets there just the same. Come-a-dee, 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 oh, and that's the healing chorus.
The boys stood on the burning deck, the captain blew his hooter, and who the heck came riding by? Mulrooney on his scooter. When that's the healing chorus, Dale Scott of Tuakawa in New Zealand and Canada, would you say something to these lovely Canadian people in Maori?
Haere mai.
Beg your pardon?
Haere mai.
Haere mai.
Haere.
Haere mai. What does that mean?
Welcome.
Welcome. What are you going to do then? Welcome.
Chantries.
Is that a Maori one?
No.
It's not.
No.
It's a chartreuse.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Shedding of the trousers.
Well, the shedding of the trousers. How about that, eh? Would that know, eh? And the end of a rope in Barlinnie. Now we came over and met Mary coming over in the plane. We flew over from Scotland, didn't we? We flew over, thought she'd save a few bob. So we flew an Irish airline, Air Fungus. It was a rare flight, it was a very old aeroplane, it had an outside toilet. And the name of the pilot was Pontius. We had to stop at Shannon Airport to take on wood. We're flying across the Atlantic, we're flying so low you could nearly touch the waves, couldn't we? We're flying so low you could have washed your underwear. Ian had to twice. We're on the plane and he's sitting there beside a wee minister from Invergordon, a wee minister from the Free Kirk of Scotland, and he was sitting beside you, wasn't he? Aye, he was sitting beside him. And then the stewardess came down and said, everything on this flight is free. She said, what would you like? And he said, I'll have a double malt whiskey. Didn't you?
Oh, aye. Yes.
And she said to the wee minister, would you like a double malt whiskey? She says, me, a minister of the Free Kirk of Scotland, drink whiskey. I'd rather commit adultery. He said, well, in that case, cancel my order. I never knew I had the choice. And the pilot left on the intercom, and everybody could hear what he was saying in the plane. Everybody in the plane could. It got to 33,000 feet, and he said to the co-pilot, you know, He says, we're up here. He says, I'm going to have a big plate of sausages, then I'm going to make love to the stewardess. And everybody in the plane heard it, and the lassie was that embarrassed, and she running to the sentinel to switch off the intercom, and a wee woman from Airdrie grabbed the hold of her and says, you don't have to hurry, my dear. He's going to eat his sausages first. Do you like Kirsty with her band? Yeah. This is what are you going to sing?
I'm going to sing a Burns song. It's called Coming Through the Rye.
That's dedicated to Canadian whiskey. Custodian. I've been asked to sing a wee song. I've never, it's from John McLeish with to sing a wee song. And I've always wanted to sing a wee song, you know.
Well, Ronnie, I would advise you never to sing a request.
I know it.
Well, the last time I sung a request, I was asked to sing One Alone.
Huh?
When I went home, my sister had given birth to a baby boy.
One Alone.
One Alone.
Wee boy, One Alone.
Hello. Hello. I wouldn't sing a request, Ronnie. The last time I was at Blackpool, they asked me to sing a request. It was tea for two. And when I went home, my wife had twins.
Very dodgy. I was asked to play 3 coins in the fountain at Bridge of Cardiff. And when I got home, Lila had triplets.
Wait for triplets. Triplets, as long as you know. That was his one. So you One Alone, the wee laddie.
And tea for two twins, Ronnie.
Oh, 3 coins in the fountain, very dodgy.
Oh, I can't do this then.
Why not?
It's 100 pipers in all. It's a lot of nonsense. Well, anyway, we've got a request tonight, and it's a song that, it's not a Scottish song, but it's asked for wherever we go, all over the world, and Isabel makes a great job of it, so I know you're going to enjoy it. So it's The Old Rugged Cross.
On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the deep
when you go. You know, like, it's a lot of nonsense, but laugh if you like, please. You know, there are certain parts of Scotland where they've got to use a paraffin, a kerosene lamp. You know why? Because they haven't got any electricity. And you know why they haven't got any electricity? Because the English won't give it to us. And there's a wee pal of mine, and his name is Donald John Macaulay. He is a wee chuchter. He lives out on a wee croft, a wee farm, out on a wee island, out there in the Atlantic Ocean, out in the Hebrides. We're past Oban and Mull and Iona and Benbecula and Lewis and Egg and Nog. He lives away out there on a wee island, way out there in the Western Hebrides. And he has a lovely wee farm and he has got no electricity because the English won't give it. And he has a lovely wife, and her name is Morag. Morag of Dunvegan. She is a lovely lassie with the lovely black raven locks. And she is married to Donald John Macaulay, who is a wee chuchter, who lives on a wee croft on the wee island, out there in the Western Hebrides, away in the Atlantic Ocean, where they have no electricity because the English won't give it to them. And Morag, Donald John's lovely wife, she's expecting a happy event out there on the croft, on the wee island, out there in the Atlantic, where they do not have any electricity because the English will not give it to them. The stinkers. And Morag of Dunvegan is expecting a happy event, and Donald John Macaulay is in an awful state because he cannot telephone for a doctor, because he hasn't got a telephone, because he hasn't got any electricity, because the English won't give it to him. But Donald John Macaulay is not as daft as he's stupid looking. Oh, indeed, to goodness, no. He has a lovely wee carrier pigeon called Wee Willie. And he straps a wee message onto Wee Willie's leg, and he sends Wee Willie from the island, away out there in the Hebrides where they don't have any electricity, over to the mainland where they do, and the wee pigeon flies over flappity-flap, 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 over to the mainland, to a wee village called Tarnock Bray. And he arrives in the garden of Arden House, this Wee Willie, and there's Janet hanging out the washing. Oh, she says, there's Donald John's Wee Willie. I'd recognise his Wee Willie anywhere. It's a message, would be a message for one of the doctors. I wonder if it's for Dr. Finlay or Dr. Cameron. No, it's for Snoddy. Snoddy, have a toddy and warm your body because you're going to have to row in your wee boat over there to Donald John's wee island. You'll have to row in your own boat because Caledonia and McBrain are on strike as usual. So Dr. Snoddy jumped in his wee boat and was rowing over the Minch and got stuck in the tatties. Tatties, Minch, never mind. Yeah, this is getting a hell of a heavy. Wait a minute. So anyway, Dr. Snoddy arrives at the wee island, and there's Donald John standing on the edge of the pier, waving his wee lamp. You see, he had nothing else to wave. Because the English wouldn't give it to him. Says, I'm pleased to see Dr. Snoddy in this good and holy day. My lovely wife, Morag of Dunvegan, is expecting any minutes. Ah, says Dr. Snoddy, lead on Macduff. His name wasn't Macduff, it was Macaulay, but he led on anyway. Up to the wee croft, and they had a wee dram, and Snoddy says, come on, the things are just about to happen. Stand by with the lamp. Oh, Donald John, congratulations, you're a lovely wee boy. He is the image of yourself. Now take him away into the next room and wash him and bring back the lamp. And Donald John did that. And then they had another dram. So smile, go back in the lamp. You another one, what lassie? Ah, lovely white board. The deacon with the raven locks, they're taken away to the next room and wash her to bring back the lamb. Then Snoddy was just about to close his bags. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's twins. 2 for the price of 1. It must be a man tonight. Now take them away. Take them away to the next room and wash them and bring back the lamb. Donald John says, I'm bringing back no lamb. It's a light, it's a track. Take them away. Jimmy comes from Glasgow, from Partick, but won't hold that against him. What do you think of Graham Souness chucking it, eh? He's away down to Liverpool, they must have been paying him enough. Listen, we'll do the wee song about Quinn's Bar, which is a wee pub in Springburn, and it's down underneath the stairs, and they say it's in the basement in Canada. In Edinburgh they say it's down in the area. But in Glasgow it's down the dunny. There's some sticky on this lot. And anyway, all the folk there hide from their wives and their income tax inspector. So if you can get them to do what you want, you'll shout cheer,
And they shout where?
so he'll shout cheer, and well, cheer! Cheer! We that first, very good, that was an act. Right, carry on.
Cheer! Good. Down in the wee room, underneath the stair, everybody's happy, everybody's there. We're all making merry, each one in his chair. Where? Down in the wee room, underneath the stair. Oh, if you're tired and weary, and you're feeling blue, don't give way to sorrow, I tell you what to do. Just take a car to Springburn, find Quinn's Bar there, and go into the wee room, underneath the stair. And it's down in the wee room, underneath the stair. Everybody's happy, everybody's there. We're all making merry, each one in his chair. Where? Down in the wee room, underneath the stair. To the king he went a-hunting, his fortune for to seek. He took a car to Springburn, missing for a week. And after days of searching, sorrow and despair, they found him in the wee room, underneath the stair. And it's down in the wee room, underneath the stair. Everybody's happy, everybody's there. We're all making merry, each one in his chair. Where? Down in the wee room, underneath the stair. I know I'm getting older, my bones are getting set. I'll no get old and grumpy like Ronnie Colburn gets. I'll save up all my pennies, buy a hurley chair to take me to the wee room underneath the stair. And it's down in the wee room, underneath the stair. Everybody's happy, everybody's there. We're all making merry, each one in his chair. Where? Down in the wee room, underneath the stair.
Think you give us a wee rummel and we could maybe get somebody to sing the Brocken Law.
Good idea.
Brown goose broken out. Need none of the high. You could maybe get that. You could dance. A woman from New Zealand could dance. You know. Come on, let's get wee.
Brocken
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we've been asked to do this wee song. One day they'll stop asking us, we'll be awfully disappointed. Especially we've got some young folk in the show tonight. And it's a story about a wee man from Aberdeen called Johnny Coulter, who used to go around the streets selling his sweeties, selling his candies. And all the wee boys and girls at the turn of the century, they weren't called boys and girls in Scotland then, they weren't even called lads and lasses, they were called the loons and the quines. Is there anybody in from Aberdeen tonight?
Yeah!
Do you know them, do you? Anyway, they used to stand at the street corners with a bobby, which was the coin of the day, waiting for Johnny coming with his candies. The lovely wee chorus, the chorus is Ali Bally Bee, sitting on your mammy's knee, greeting for a wee bobby to buy some Coulter's candy. And I want you to sit there and pay attention because we're going to ask questions at the finish. My God, we're standing here like stop, caution and go. Accompanied at great expense by Cagney and Lacey. It's very bad. Love his hot dogs. Right, okay then, go away. She's looking half a thin, a wrinkle of bones covered over with skin. But soon she'll be having a double kin through silken Coulter's candy. Tuna, come on. do a wee medley now, because people ask us when you come out to Canada, we do a wee sing medley, because everybody likes to sing along. And tonight we're going to do some tunes from some from Scotland, some from different parts of Britain. And we're going to start off with a tune that was made very popular with a man I had the great pleasure of working with when I was a wee laddie in the Pavilion Theatre in Glasgow when he had his 70th birthday. And I got a big lump of his birthday cake because I was the only one in the building that didn't drink because I was too wee. But anyway, his name was George Eliot, and he was born in Rochdale in 1895 down in Englandshire, and 2 streets where he lived. Another great artist was born, was Gracie Fields. But George Eliot was known as G.H. Eliot, the chocolate-coloured coonie. So I know some of you know his songs, so we're going to start off the wee medley. Hope you'll all sing up. Would you clear your throats? So we'll now start off, we'll now start off with Lily of Laguna. Lily of Laguna.
She's my lady love, she is my love, my lady love. She's no girl for sitting down to dream, she's the only queen. She said so, she is my lily of Laguna. She is my lily and my rose. She's
My lady love, she is my love, my lady love. She's no girl for sitting down to dream, she's the only queen. She likes me because she said so. She is my lily of Laguna. She is my lily and my rose.
oh, we ain't gonna
Battle of money, maybe we're ragged and party, but we travel along, singing a song, side by side. We don't know what's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's trouble and sorrow, but we travel alone, sharing a road, side by side. Through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? As long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all.
when we
All have the quarrels and heartache, we'll be the same as we started, just traveling along, singing a song, side by side. The bells are ringing for me and my gal. The birds are singing for me and my gal. Everybody's been knowing to a wedding they're going, and for geeks they've been sewing. Henry, Susie, and Sam, they're congregating for me and my gal. The parson's waiting for me and my gal. And someday soon we're gonna build a little home for 2 or 3 or 4 or more in love and for me and my gal. You can't shove your granny off a bus.
shop, shop,
No, you can't shove your granny off a bus.
shop, shop.
No, you can't shove your granny, but she's your mammy's mammy. You can't shove your granny off a bus.
Shop, shout, singing aye, aye.
Get the arms going. Singing aye, aye, yippee, yippee, aye. Singing aye, aye, yippee, aye, aye, yippee, aye, aye, yippee, yippee, aye. There's a moosey in your hoosey, Mary Ann. There's a moosey in your hoosey, Mary Ann. There's a moosey in your hoosey. You'll better get the pussy. There's a moosey in your hoosey, Mary Ann. Oh, you can't shove your granny off the bus.
Shout, shout,
Oh, you can't shove your granny off the bus.
shout, shout. Oh, you can't shove your granny, but she's your mommy's mommy. You can't shove your granny off the bus. Shout, shout, singing aye, aye, yippee, yippee, aye.
Singing aye, aye, yippee, yippee, aye.
Singing aye, aye, yippee, aye, aye, yippee, aye, aye, yippee, yippee, aye.
the people who work so hard, the Canadian Diabetic Association, the girl that we have to dealings with, all the dealings with, is Heather, and Heather Cabell has worked very hard with all our helpers, and of course we're very, very grateful to the assistance too from all the different people, including all my friends from Niagara and on the lake. The first time I went to Niagara on the lake, I said, it reminds me of Peyton Place. And everybody took me the wrong way. It was the bandstand, you know, the wee shoppies. You're waiting for a bus, are you? No, we've had our umpteenth visit here, and we're so pleased that there's such a nice crowd come along tonight, and it's nice to see you. And we're going on now we're going out to Huron now, we're going to Sarnia, and then just in case anybody's any friends there, you can tell them. And we're there for the epilepsy tomorrow night, and then we're up to Port Elgin. That's a lovely wee place. Oh, isn't it nice? It'll be lovely when it's finished. It's a nice wee place.